My earliest memory of mountain biking would probably be a bike that my dad bought for me, which was, I believe it was a Norco, and it had a fake gas tank, and it had real shocks and real forks. This goes back a long time. And I remember riding that bike everywhere and just loving bouncing up and down on it and going off jumps and doing all kinds of crazy stuff on it. Exploring is probably the biggest thing that drew me to it in the beginning. Is I wonder where this trail goes, and and then of course seeing the animals or insects or fish or whatever you see on the trails. That was always attractive to me. Let me see, a typical weekend would be Friday night, me asking Julie, what do we have on for the day for Saturday? And Julie will usually say, you should probably ride your bike. And that's when I will say, well, where should I go? Should I go here, there, local? What am I gonna do? And so then I'll send a text to somebody and say, hey, where are you going? And then before you know it, Julie will get annoyed because she'll hear my phone just pinging constantly saying, okay, I want in. Let's go here at this time. Let's meet at this time.
Tim's a very, if I had to choose one word, I'd say honorable, but there's lots of other words. He's very loyal. He's very inclusive. It's important to him that everybody feels included. And I think that we have very similar values, and, I'd like to say that our relationship and the success of our relationship probably comes from that a little bit. We have similar values.
How would I describe Tim in one word? The mayor. That's 2 words, but mayor of Dundas. Everywhere he goes, everyone knows him, and I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about the guy.
Thursday night riders, welcome to our first local ride of the year. What the hell has been going on with our weather?
The one thing I've learned riding with Tim is that the bike will do all the work for you if you trust yourself and the bike. I remember the first time I rode with him was a freewheel ride, and we're going along the golf course trail. And all of a sudden, this old dude that I barely knew hopped up onto the tree with his back wheel and popped off the other side. And I was just amazed. Now, obviously that takes some skill, but just some of the other stuff I've seen him ride, the bike does the work if you let it.
I've been fixing Tim's bikes since I started the shop. So I was fortunate enough to be able to come out here and start as one of the higher level mechanics. So I've been learning Tim's preferences, we'll say, and tuning it and telling him, hey Tim, bring me your bike, for about 5 years now. It still blows my mind, his ability to ride pretty much anything in the saddle. When dropper posts became such a thing and we were able to be a lot more active on the bike and stuff like that, Tim's still sticking to his dropper post. He only has it for Blue Mountain. He can ride skinnies, the most technical trails and all that, still on the saddle. It's one of those things of blows my mind a little bit.
My name is Mel Poole. I'm from Dundas, Ontario, and I am Tim's bike wife. I think it just sort of came about. I know Julie had something to do with it. I think she was the one that coined the phrase bike wife. But it sort of came, Tim and I ride together so much that people start to assume that we're a couple because we're riding together all the time. Sort of how I became his bike wife. One word to describe Tim. I'd have to go with gregarious. Just the most outgoing guy you've ever met. One of my nicknames for him is the unofficial mayor of mountain biking, because we can't go anywhere without him running into at least 6 people that he knows. I think what I learned from Tim is a great appreciation for watching people progress. Tim kind of can't help himself but help somebody conquer a feature or a skill that they've been working on for a while. He'll just get right in there and just so patient. Yeah, I love that about him, and it makes me a better person, a better mountain biker, and I like to think a good ride leader.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How you doing? We're going for a ride. My name is Yannick Bisson, and I think I've known Tim for about 12 years, maybe more. We're not sure because that's kind of how it happens, right? You run into him, you go, "Hey, Tim," and you know, everybody knows him. And I guess it took me a little while to kind of put the pieces together, but next thing you know, we were on a trail together. I think it was at Blue Mountain, and we'd seen each other before, and it was like, let's just ride, and it kind of hasn't stopped since. I think the thing that Tim taught me, certainly when we ride together, is that it can be a hell of a lot of fun to hang out with somebody that you like. It doesn't matter what you do. And here we are doing the thing that we probably both like the most, and we totally dig hanging out with each other. One thing that I learned about Tim is he's just out there wanting to have a great time hanging out with you. It's like, it's a small thing, it's a subtle thing, but it's escaped me most of my life, and I think Tim sort of helped me reconnect with that. Here's to the greatest guy on two wheels I know, Mr. Tim Price. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Oh, that's so good.
Man, so good.
I think some people may call me a mountain bike legend, although I just hate that. Because of my age, how many years I've been riding, how many years I've been in and out of the shop, and the way that I know the trails like the back of my hand. Like even people that have lived in Dundas all their lives, I'll say, let's go down this trail, and at the end of the ride they'll say, I have never been on that trail. That's one of the things that I really loved about Mel when we first started riding. She's like, oh my God, I've never been on that trail. Oh, there you go, here's a new trail. I love showing people new trails. It's like, you know, hey, I know where this one goes. Hey, this one goes there. So taking people, and maybe that's why people think that I'm a legend. I'm like, wow, Tim really knows his way around these trails in Dundas. But yeah, I just find it hard to call myself a legend. I'm just an old mountain biker that knows his way around.
Brothers laugh and lovers cry, hold each other up when we can't stand. Back home with my family, it's right there.
My friends out west aren't gonna like to hear me say this, but I love riding out west, and I love the Southwest, but I love the variety we have right here. Right here, living in Dundas is the ultimate for me. Being able to go right out my door and be at some fantastic cross country, lots of hills, or I can get in the car and drive for 20 minutes and be, you know, at Kelso. I can go to Puslinch. I can go to Hafta, to the Agreement Forest. I love riding at Blue Mountain, a couple hours away. Turkey Point, when it's raining, everybody goes to Turkey Point. We've just got a huge variety of trails that we can ride around here. I just can't imagine living anywhere else.
It's all I need to be a rich man. They are all I need to be a rich man. There ain't nothing, there ain't nothing, there ain't nothing like coming home to you. And no matter where I go, and no matter what I do, there ain't nothing like coming home to you. There ain't nothing like coming home to you.
Mel, can you come out and play bicycles today?
Sarah, you may side.
Oh, that's very aggressive.
I'll be as aggressive as that too.
Well, you take my bike then, would you? Thank you.